Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unnamed Church. How are you? Are you having a good day or are you having a good week? Today, I want to talk about wherever you are, that's the place to worship God. So, actually, whenever I start this recording, this video, I say that wherever you are, that's the right place to worship God. But today, I really want to talk about it. So, let me share a Bible verse. John chapter 4, verse 23 to 24. Let me read. Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth. For they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. God is a spirit, and his worshippers must worship in the Spirit and in truth. I want to talk about a little bit of this background. This is what Jesus said. But you know what happened before? Actually, Jesus was talking with a Samaritan woman who had five husbands before and now, living with a man, but he's not a husband. And Jesus knew everything. And Jesus talked with her. And it's very surprising at that time because usually Jewish people didn't want to associate with the Samaritans. You know why? Because historically, Samaritans, they are mixed people. And in Jews' point of view, they are impure. They are not purely all Jews. So, and also there are some other regions and culture regions and, many things. So, usually, Jews didn't want to associate any Samaritans, but Jesus, talked with her. It's very surprising as a Samaritan woman. But she was asking him because she felt like, oh, he's not just a normal guy. He's like a prophet. His words and the way he speaks, it's very special. So she thought Jesus is a prophet. So she asked him, Sir, my ancestors worship God here in this mountain. But Jews say that you must worship in Jerusalem. So actually, we can see some context in the hidden context of what were going on, regarding worshiping God. It's like, Jews saying that, you should worship in Jerusalem. That's the right place to worship God. But Samaritans, actually Jews didn't want to associate with them. So maybe we can guess that Jews didn't want them to come over to their, you know, area, probably. Or you can research more, okay? I might not be the 100% to right all the time. So anyway, but Jesus was answering to her. That's this verse. So let me read again a little bit specifically. Where is the right place? She was wondering. But Jesus said that, yet a time is coming and has now come. Has now come means it's here, right? It's not yet come. It's just has now come, right? And when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and truth. So can you see that? Jesus said that the true worshippers, not just the worshippers, true worshippers will worship the Father God in where? In the Spirit and truth. It's not like you should worship God within this area or within that area. It's not that. Where? In the Spirit and in truth. So let me continue to read. For they are kind of worshipers God seeks. The Father seeks. Actually, Father is seeking worshipers, the true worshipers who worship God in His Spirit and in His truth. Not really the worshipers thinking about, where to worship, where is the nice building of a church, where is the right place, this area, that area. No. God is seeking the true worshipers who can be in His presence and worshiping Him. Let me continue. God is a spirit. Can you see that? God is a spirit. Where should we be to worship God? In the spirit of God. And His worshipers must worship. It's not just, worship. It says that must worship. There's no other options. Must worship. Where? In the spirit and in truth. What is worship? I have a question this. What is worship? Worship, going into the fancy building and really nice decorations and really, holy space. Oh yeah, this is the right place to worship. But what is worship? We can think about it. So I thought of preparing this sermon. I actually thought of this. Okay, what is worship? And I was a little bit wrote down. So let me share. Worship is an action to acknowledge God, right? God is our Father. God is there. God is here. Acknowledge God. An action to acknowledge God. That is worship. And worship is an action to lift up our sincere belief to God. We believe in God, right? But if we don't do anything to really show that God, we believe in you, we have this belief, then what is this? Worship is an action of lift up our sincere belief, God, we believe in you. And second, actually third, worship is an action to admit that God is the most high God in the highest authority. That is worship. We acknowledge Him and lift up our sincere belief and also admit that He's the most high God in the highest authority. That's all included in the worship, right? So, actual location, where you are you in the right location or not? What is that? The right location to worship God, right place to worship God is where God is. Do you think you are with God? Then that's the place to worship God. That's the right place to worship God. Then you will worship Him in His spirit and in His truth. So let me share one Bible story. You know, Apostle Paul and Silas. I need to make the pronunciation correct. Silas. Okay. Apostle Paul and Silas, they went to, preach and deliver the gospel. Let people know who Jesus was and is. And then, what happened? They were put into prison. Can you believe that? You know, think about it. You want to deliver the gospel of Jesus and you really thought that you are doing the right thing. When you think you are doing the right thing, but boom, things happen and, oh, what is this? And you get trouble. Then how are you going to respond to God? Paul and Silas, they were in the prison. What is this? I purely deliver the gospel of Jesus, they could complain, right? They could say to God, God, what is this? What's happening to my life? I had the passion to deliver the gospel of Jesus, but why I'm here in the prison? Boom, right? However, they knew wherever they are, that's the place to worship God. What situation they are in, that's the place to worship God. So they, in the prison, sing and praise. That's in actually Acts 16. So when you have a time, read that. So let me share one verse, Acts 16, verse 25. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to who? To God. And the other prisoners were listening to them. In the prison, when they worshiped God, you know what happened? Prison doors opened, and all the prisoners' chain came loose. And also the prison garden was very amazed and surprised, and also very much, threatened, right? Okay, threatened. And then they fell down to the ground and asked Paul and Silas, what should I do to be saved? And Paul and Silas had the chance to deliver the gospel of Jesus. They say to prison guard, believe in Jesus, then you and your family will be saved. Isn't that really amazing? Even in the prison, when they sincerely worship God, this miracle happened. They could continue to deliver the gospel of Jesus even in the prison. Likewise, sometimes you might feel like you are going through some season that it's like you are in the prison, situationally, mentally, emotionally. You might have that season. Actually, I also had that season too. Feel like, I felt like I'm in the prison. I can't do anything. Situationally, emotionally, mentally, it was really hard. God, what's going on? I had a 100% passion. I followed you. I wanted to just follow the way you are leading me. But why am I here? I also had that time. However, God is teaching us, all Christians, that wherever you are, whatever situation you are going through, that's the place that you need to worship me in the spirit and truth. So I really pray, I really bless you that wherever you are, that's the place to worship God. I bless you, and also God bless you. Bye bye.